Hello everyone. So today we are going to see how can we store photo or text file into the database using Hibernate. So here I am using Eclipse ID and database is Mysql. So first of all we have to go to the file and go to the new, and in this we have to create a Maven project. So after that click on next, then here we have to choose catalog as internal, and in the filter you have to type quick start and you have to choose this, then click on next. Then in the group ID we have to give the package name and artifact ID is project name. So I will give here image file, and the package name I will give here as com.txt. Then click on finish. So here image file, our project is created. Now next go to the pom.xml. Then here we have to add the jar files. So here we are using Hibernate, so Hibernate related jar files we have to add. Then you can go to the Maven repository and you can search here. So I will give link of this in the description. From there you can copy and you can add in pom.xml. Then go here and below this JUnit we have to add this Hibernate dependency. The next dependency is here we are using the Mysql database. So Mysql jar file we have to jar file related dependency we have to add. So here Mysql connector J. Also this link will be provided in the description. You can go here and copy that. So below Hibernate I will also add this Mysql connector J. Next I am using here Lombok. So for Lombok also I am using this. If you want you can go in the description, you will find this link in the description. So copy this Lombok dependency and below Mysql I will add this Ctrl+Shift+F for formatting this, and also I will add the Maven compiler plugin. So go to this website, I will give this website link also in the description. So we have to copy this in this properties tag, whatever this Maven compiler source and target, and we have to go here and between these properties we have to paste here, and I will be using here 1.9 version of Java. So now press Ctrl+Shift+F and Ctrl+S for saving this. And after that what you have to do, go to the project and right click on this project, whatever Maven project we have created, and go to the Maven and click on update project and click on OK. So we have to update the project, and here you can see Java SE version 9, you can see here. So what we done, we have add Maven compiler plugin, then Hibernate core dependency, Mysql connector J and Lombok dependency. So the next thing we have to do is we have to create a configuration file. So go to the new src main Java, then right click on this and go to the new, go to the others. Here we have to choose for XML file, and here you have to create a XML file hibernate.configuration.xml, and make sure that the name should be same, hibernate.configuration.xml. Then here we have to add this. I have already copied this. Let me copy this and paste here. So in the hibernate.configuration.xml we have to add first this DTD. So to validate this whatever we are writing, this DTD is must. So I will give link of the code in the description. From there you can copy this hibernate.configuration.xml. In this what we give the connection URL, as we are using here Mysql database, so we have to give the Jdbc URL for the Mysql database. So what is the Jdbc URL for Mysql database? Jdbc Mysql localhost. This is the port number of Mysql, and this is new/new. New is the schema name. So in the Mysql workbench I am using your Mysql workbench. In this I have already created schema with the name new. You can also create, here you can see create a new schema. You can give whatever name you want, and make sure that you should give that schema name here. Then we have to give the username and password of the database. So my database username and is root and password is root. Then this is the property. If you want to see the internal queries, SQL queries executed by Hibernate, then you can use this property show SQL as a true and format. It will format the whatever query is executed. Then you can give here hbm to ddl.ito as a update. Update means it will see in the database whether the table is present or not. Let's suppose we have to create a employee table. It will check in the database whether the table is present or not. If the table is not present, then Hibernate will create. Otherwise, what will happen? It will update the columns, whatever column are not present in that table. It will not create that table. It will only update. So this is about Hibernate configuration file. Next thing what you have to do, go to the src main java, and here we will create one package. So package name I will give as a com.entity entity. So in the entity, right click on this and go to the new and go to the class. Here I will create one class called employee. So to map this employee with the table, I will give here annotation called entity. So here, okay, entity, and make sure that it is javax.persistence.entity. For importing this, you can press Ctrl Shift O. Now here we will create private integer employee emp id, then private string emp name. So this I will take as a primary key, so we have to use @id annotation, and we have to import. Then we have to generated value we will use, and strategy as we are using here a Mysql, so we have to give as identity. In the case of Oracle, you can give sequence. So strategy equal to generation type dot identity. Then I will give here a column name as eid. Here I will give column name as ename. Then we have to store the photo and resume of the employee. So I will give here a private. So for storing the photo, we will store in the form of byte array. So byte array photo, and we have to use here annotation called lob, as these are the large objects, this photo and resume. So private. Then for storing the resume, we will use character array. So resume, and also we have to use large object. Then I will give your column name as emp photo. Here I will give another column name as emp resume. So what will happen in the employee table? This here first of all I will give here a table name. So table name I will give here a emp tab, and here as we have added getter long box, so I will use @data $all constructor @no args constructor. @data means it will create a getter and setter methods. So if you didn't use long box, you can right click here and go to the source, and you can create a getter setter method manually. So in this, go to the source, and here you will find getter and setter method. So I will use here lombo. Now what will happen? The table will be created with the name emp tab. So with the name emp tab will be created here. Let me do again. So what will be the name? Emp tab, and this table will have how much columns? Employee ID, employee name, emp photo. 1, 2 and 3 columns will be there. First column name will be what? Employee ID. Next will be employee name. Third will be employee photo. Fourth will be employee resume, right? So this is about entity. So next thing what you have to do, go to the src main java, and here we have to go to the package, and here we have to use com.util package. In that, what you have to do, right click on this, go to the new, go to the class. Here I will create one class called Hibernate util. Then in the Hibernate util, what you have to do, we have to create here a static session factory factory equals to null. So Ctrl Shift O for importing, and import org.hibernate.session factory. Here I will use static block, and in that I will use configuration cfg equal to new configuration. Ctrl Shift O for importing, and we have to import org.hibernate.cfg.configuration, then cfg.configure. So here we have to give the configuration file name. So what is the configuration file name? Hibernate.cfg.xml. Then we have to add annotated class. So what is our annotated class name? Employee. So here we have to give employee.class. Then factory equals to cfg.build session factory. Then after that we will create one static method, public static session factory equals to, here we have to create a method, right? So get session factory, and we will return here from factory. Then again I will create here one method also for session. So session equals to get session. Ctrl Shift O, we have to import org.hibernate.session, and what we have to return? Factory.open session we have to return. So this is done Hibernate util. Next thing what you have to do, go to the com.test and go to the app.java. So in the app.java we'll write the code now. So first of all we'll delete this, and now here get session factory object. So how can we get session factory equals to Hibernate util dot get session factory. Ctrl Shift O for importing. Yes. Now get the session object, session. So how can we session equals to Hibernate util dot here util dot get session. Then import Ctrl Shift O, and here we will use try with resources. So try factory and session. So try with resources is available from 1.9 version. That's why we added Maven compiling version as 9. So if you are using 8, you will get here an error. Then we have to use here now we have to read the photo. So for that I will create file1 equals to new file, and here we have to give the location of photo, wherever your photo is present. So in that I have already downloaded that photo, this man.png. Then you have to go here and you have to copy the path of that. So you can go man.png. So it will be open. It is taking some time. So this is a photo. We have to copy this path. So I have already copied this path. Let me take this. So copy this and go to the Eclipse, and in this we have to give the location. So make sure that this slash should be 2 slashes. Whatever the location, we have to give here 2 slash, and import this java.io.file. Right, same here I will do for, I will copy this, Control Alt down, file 2, and this for resume. So I have already created one resume.txt file. You can create any txt file and copy the location and go here. Here I will only change the name, resume.txt. So there is nothing in the resume.txt, only the text data. I will show here resume.txt. So here you can see only first name, last name, full address, phone number, email. So we have to copy that location and we have to paste here. So this is for read resume. Now how to read? So I will use here input stream IP equals to new file. Here we have to import file input stream. Here we have to use file 1. Control Shift O for importing. Next, this is giving error. We have to catch here the exception. First of all, I will use here Hibernate exception he.print stack trace and catch exception e.print stack trace. Now input here I will create this, as this is a photo, so we will store this in the byte array. So byte array photo byte array photo equals to new byte array, and here we will give the size as file 1 dot, here file 1 dot length. Now this file we have to read into this byte array. So ip dot read, here we have to give photo. Now next, read the resume. So here I will use reader equals to new Control Shift O file reader file 2. Control Shift O for importing java.io.reader we have to import. Now here we have to use character array. Here I will give resume equals to new char array, and int here I will give file 2 dot length. Now reader dot read into the this array. So resume, this is done. Now create the object, create the emp object. So emp dot set here employee emp equals to new employee. Control Shift O for importing. Emp dot set name. So I will give here a Sam. Now emp dot set photo. So what you have to give? Photo array. Next is what? Emp dot set resume. So resume array. Now save this object. So first of all, here we have to begin the transaction. So session dot begin transaction we have to use here. Session dot, it is taking time. Session dot begin the transaction. Now session dot save. What object you have to save? emp. Now commit the transaction. So session dot get transaction dot commit. Now this is done. So what we have done, let me revise. First of all, we will run this and let us see whether this is running or not. Control F11 for running. So here you can see the query, create query employee ID, employee name, employee photo, and primary key as employee, and insert query is also executed. Now it's time to go for the Mysql database, and earlier there was no table. If I refresh here, you will find EMP tab. Then click on this table icon. Then you will get here employee tab, here you can see one Sam and here resume. So right click on this AMP photo and open value in the editor. You have to click on open value in the editor. So this file will be open. Then you have to go to the image, and if I extend this little bit, yes, now here you can see this is photo is coming. Now close it. Then resume we have to see, right click on this open value in editor. You have to go to the text. So this is the content in your resume. So we have successfully stored image and resume into the database. So let's revise what step we have done. So here, so first we have created a Maven project. Then what we have done, we have in the pom.xml add the dependencies. What are the dependencies? Hibernate core, Mysql connector J and Lombok, and we have to add the Maven compiler plugin. The next thing what we have created is hibernate.configuration file. In the configuration file we have to give the database related Jdbc Url, username, password and HBM to detail.ito property. Next we have created the entity. So here entity is employee. You can give your table name. You have to give at the entity annotation. Then properties employee ID, employee name, photo and resume. So above photo we have to give this annotation at that log, and above resume also we have to give. Then next what we have done, we have created Hibernate util, then session factor object and session object. Then in the app.java, what we have done, we have read the file this photo and stored into this byte array. Then next resume and stored into this resume array. Then after that we have store by using session.save. So this is a way we can store image and resume into or file into the database using Hibernate. So if you like this video, you can hit like button and subscribe to our channel. And I have already created one video on CRUD operation using Hibernate. You can also watch that. I will give the link of this in the description. And I have already created some videos on Spring Boot, Jdbc, Servlet. You can also find that in the, I will give the link of that videos in the description.